Or which way's your money going on this one, Jack?
Well, I think this is a huge game, actually, and the outcome of this group. It looks like Real Madrid, having drawn in Dortmund, are going to be the favourites to go through as the top boys, you think, and then it's going to be between these two sides because, like you mentioned, Legia Warsaw don't seem to be up to much. I say, when you see the names, Borussia Dortmund are now one of the real powerhouses of European football, but Sporting have got a great history, haven't they? A few recognisable names in their squad, but I think Borussia Dortmund might just have enough. However, it's going to be a very difficult night, you've got to think.
Yeah, Sporting with the early pressure. They're probably hoping to win all their home games and see what they can sneak away. Breaking down the right-hand side, cross deep towards the far post. It's well headed away defensively. An effort comes back in from about 20 yards out from Markovic. Couldn't keep it down. Probably not on target either. But a strong run down at the right-hand side from Charlotto. Decent ball in. But Dortmund doing just about enough. I think it was Ginter with the initial header, and well, the shot eventually not the best. But I know there's only 2 minutes gone. Promising for a sport in early stages. Yeah,
you can imagine they're going to try and hit Dortmund pretty hard early on. There's a few injury problems, isn't there, for Dortmund? They've had a bit of a shuffle around with Ginter playing, usually a centre half playing as the right back. Bartra coming into the side. Some are signing from Barcelona. So Sporting will obviously be looking to try and hit them early on. And they're certainly playing with a lot of pace. We've seen Ziegler on the left-hand side. But, yep, they seem to have a young and exciting team, Sporting, but here Dortmund on the attack.
Yeah, it's Aubameyang breaking down at the right-hand side, getting to the byline, looking for options, and it's a fizz ball in, which is put behind. Didn't really have many options in truth, but good pace from Aubameyang. He had to wait for the support, trying to pick out a man at the far post. Gelson, but decent defending in the end. Charlotto getting in the way, but taking no chances, facing his own goal. So it is the game's first set piece. With about 3 minutes on the clock, the José Alvalade, it's whipped in near post, headed up in the air really. Trying to be kept alive, keeper comes off his line. He has to take some strong action there. The Dortmund player who went for the ball, Marc Bartra, was definitely offside. But of course, because he's in the way of the keeper, Patricio might well have caught him. I mean, he's about 10 yards offside in the end.
Yeah, well, the keeper comes and does well. I'm not really sure what Bartra's doing because he's clearly offside. He knows he's offside. Like I said, I'm not really quite sure. And he seems to have taken a whack for his troubles. There was no real fault on the part of Patricio because he just came out and made himself tall and collected the ball. Bartra looks like he's going to be okay, but quite strange play really from someone who's played at the top level for a long time now.
Yeah, definitely offside. Not the tallest centre-back in the world. Maybe Papastathopoulos will be a more likely option from set pieces. Of course, there is Aubameyang. Under a little bit of pressure is Patricio again. But well, it's an awful clearance, really. But he has got it away from danger. And it will be a throw-in to Dortmund, who obviously didn't see much of the ball in the opening couple of minutes, but they're bossing it right now, but still very early in the piece. Try and keep it up to speed with the scores elsewhere in the Champions League. No early goals as yet. The other game in this group could be a high-scoring one, certainly for one side. Real Madrid are at home. Legia Warsaw are the visitors, but that's the game that these two sides might otherwise be interested in. But obviously matters immediately focused on the pitch. And Dortmund is just starting to knock the ball around quite comfortably. They have shown a little bit of pace. That's a bit loose from Paslak back to the keeper Berkey, but he's under no real pressure, so Dortmund can bring it forward down the right-hand side. A long ball. I think the intention was to look for Ginter there, but that's asking way too much. And it's going to go through to Patricio as Thomas Tuchel looks on. Obviously disappointing form recently, beaten by Leverkusen and of course held by Hertha at home last time out. So they're down in 5th in the Bundesliga. It's seen as, I suppose, the natural rivals to Bayern Munich for the title. Yeah,
well, they made a great start to the season. Like you say, they've dropped off in the last few weeks. I think maybe the squad being stretched to its limits somewhat, but yeah, Bayern themselves have had a few issues as we see. Brian Ruiz is onside here. Oh, just couldn't bring it down. Well played by the goalkeeper, Roman Berkey. Out of nothing there for Sporting Lisbon. Long ball over the top. Ruiz got in between the right back, Ginter, and the centre half, Papastathopoulos. And luckily for Dortmund, the goalkeeper was alert and came to clear his lines.
Yeah, well alert there, Berkey. And Borussia Dortmund now back in possession defensively, knocking it around as Weigl comes to collect off Bartra. Now Papastathopoulos out to the right, and Ginter, who actually played in a central defensive position against Legia Warsaw. Right back today. Weigl again comes short, trying to get involved. Back to Bartra. As Sporting have funneled plenty behind the ball. Bartra goes for the diagonal down the left, looking for Paslak getting forward, but again it's overhit. As we see that chance for Brian Ruiz, who's really on the stretch there to try and control. I suppose he couldn't really have done much better.
No, he couldn't. It was a nice ball over, wasn't it, by Carvalho, and Ruiz did really well to get between the defenders, but it's just a yard or so ahead of him, and gave Berkey the chance. Really sharp goalkeeping from the Swiss to get off his line and come and collect. But good play. It's been a good start by Sporting Lisbon. Borussia Dortmund haven't really hit the stride yet. They've been very, very loose so far, and at the moment it's the Portuguese side who are enjoying all the possession.
Challenge comes in from Weigl, I think it was. Free kick given. Referee running across, but he's not going to brandish a card. Demis Kamina it is, the Slovenian, as Sporting have got proceedings back underway fairly quickly, although Ruiz now out on the left-hand side. Under pressure, goes back to Semedo, and Sporting inside their own half will begin again. Bit of space on the right for Charlotto. Has already shown a willingness to run down that flank. Has been tracked back, though, by Dembele. Good challenge from Dembele at the expense of a throw-in. 5 or 10 yards from the corner flag. He eventually got the ball, but again he was sliding in front of the player, and he probably got the player after he'd got the ball. It's one of those trying to block the knock forward and chase by Charlotto. It is a throw-in for Sporting. Going back to Carvalho, clips it down the channel, and his marker Charlotto has let him go. Hoists it into the box. Knocked down from Dost. Won't find a teammate. Cleared away. Aubameyang gives chase, but he's outnumbered. And Sporting are forced to go back to their keeper. Both sides having periods of possession in the game in the opening 8 minutes. But maybe it's Sporting who just look a fraction more dangerous as Kagawa gives the ball away. Under pressure. Here comes Sporting again down the right-hand side. It's Gelson getting into the box. Stands it up. Bastos goes down in the area. Didn't look like a penalty. He's looking over his shoulder without really appealing, and I don't think anybody in green and white shirt appealed either. Looked as though Brian Rees had kept it in. Indeed, the referee has said so, with Dortmund appealing for a throw-in. And then it's played back to Ruiz. He took his eye off the ball, and it now will be a throw-in, but a penalty claim?
Not for me. It was odd play, wasn't it, by Dost? He seemed to be going down before the ball had even come in. He does get a bit of a touch, I think, by Papastathopoulos, but it would be very, very soft to have given that. Yeah, it was a strange play by Dost. One of the signs for Sporting. Here comes Dortmund. Aubameyang's got around the outside of his man into the box. 1-on-1 with Patricio, and helps it into the net. Out of nothing for the German side. Great play down the right-hand side by Aubameyang. He got the better of Semedo, and cool as you like, took it into the box, left-footed and dinked it past the goalkeeper. Borussia Dortmund lead 1-0.
Yeah, surprising start in a sense. Shake of the heads on the Sporting bench, but yeah, he's done that already, really. Down the right, had nobody to pass to. This time in a central position. Cool finish as well. Little left-footed dink. Borussia Dortmund have taken the lead, an early lead at the Estádio José Alvalade, totally against the run of play. Sporting Lisbon actually made a pretty decent start, but Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang showed too much pace and strength for Semedo. Simple ball, only just inside the Lisbon half. Maybe they were defending a little bit too high. He knocked it past Semedo, ran after it, shrugged off the attempted challenge, and then coasted into the box. It was a delightful left-footed chip finish, which gave Patricio no chance at all. Sporting had made the better start. They did have a decent opportunity for Ruiz, ball over the top, but his touch wasn't quite good enough. And they have looked at Lively, and also a penalty claim as well. Bastos going down rather easily in the box, but they were trying to put on the pressure. But they've been hit with a sucker punch. Early goal has gone the way of the visitors. It's Sporting Lisbon 0, Borussia Dortmund 1.
Yeah, first time I've seen Aubameyang in action, and shows how dangerous he is. Third goal in as many matches in this season's Champions League for the Gabon striker. And maybe that'll just settle Borussia Dortmund down. Pretty loose opening 10 minutes or so for the German side. Well, they'll be hoping for a bit more now as Kagawa on the ball. Back to Mark Bartra. Seems to have recovered from that earlier knock he picked up in the collision with Rui Patricio. And now just setting the tempo are Dortmund. Paslic has a touch back to Bartra and into the feet of Papastathopoulos. Skipper tonight, a number of recognisable names unavailable. Sven Bender, Evan Subotic, a number of big players who've they've relied on over the last few years. Mo Marcel Schmelzer. So the Greek with the armband. That's a poor bit of play, and here comes Carvalho for Sporting Lisbon. Helps it to Schlotto on the right hand side. He's been dangerous so far, the former Atalanta man. Now back into Elias. He plays into Lazar Markovic, on loan from Liverpool, of course, and Sporting just trying to settle themselves back into the game, you feel, after, what was it, a bit of a sucker punch, really.
Yeah, I mean, he's got pace and strength. Maybe they were playing a little bit too high up the pitch. In Leicester City's group, there has been a goal, not in the Leicester City game, at Club Bruges. Have a one-goal lead, early lead against another Portuguese side, FC Porto. Bruges, of course, brushed aside by Leicester, and Leicester, if they win tonight, look like they're going through to the knockout stages already, clear at the top with 2 wins. A diagonal from Kagawa out to the right is a little bit overhit, and that's again going to beat the player to touch. It was Paslat the target again, and Thomas Tuchel on his feet, not exactly happy with the way that they've played. They'll be delighted with the lead, of course, with 13 minutes approaching being completed. And now they've seen a little bit more of the ball. Sporting Lisbon have been defending in numbers when BVB have it, but then get numbers forward pretty quickly when, of course, they turn the ball over. At the moment, the visitors are trying to just take a little bit of a sting out of the home side. The defenders are knocking it around. It's Papastathopoulos crossing the halfway line. Still goes, plays it down the channel for Kagawa. Was closed down by Semedo, easily brushed up, ball into the box, just laid off to about 25 yards out, worked by Weigl out to Paslak, now infield to Dembele. Back they go though, towards the halfway line, Weigl to Papastathopoulos, and they will begin again. Certainly it's a patient approach from Dortmund. But I guess it's always going to be difficult when there are plenty of bodies behind the ball. Could be a chance here down the left-hand side for Dembele. Works a 1-2, back inside to Götze. Byline towards the net post. Cross too close to the keeper at the end. Aubameyang was only just behind Patricio, but Patricio diving forward, claims, and chance gone.
Yeah, good play by Götze down the left-hand side. Aubameyang, he's so sharp, isn't he? In the 6-yard box, just tries to get across the goalkeeper, but Patricio, brave as you like, goes in at the feet of Aubameyang, takes a good catch, safe hands from the Portuguese goalkeeper, and helps his side out there. His side do seem, after a decent start, look a bit shell-shocked, having gone behind, and Dortmund just seem to be settling into more of a rhythm.
Yeah, seeing a little bit more of the ball. They'd like, of course, to get the likes of Mario Götze and Shinji Kagawa on the ball perhaps a little bit more. Aubameyang giving chase first to put Coates under pressure, and then the keeper, but obviously far too many defenders for him to mark them all, and Sporting try and go down their left flank looking for Gelson, but sliding interception from Paslak puts the ball into touch. Throw into the home side, and looking for options is Ziegler in the side for Jefferson today. That's as far as their Champions League team news is concerned. Nice down from Kagawa, has got back, he's played it down the right channel again for Aubameyang to use his pace, and his pace is good enough to keep it in. Of course, he has to wait for support, tries a couple of step overs. This time Semedo has actually read it reasonably well, and it's a good ball out for Sporting as they try and counter. But running into a bit of traffic there was Elias, although he's got a free kick. Weigl didn't like it. He felt he got some of the ball, and I'd be inclined to agree, but Damis Gamina does not. Maybe there was a little tug as well, in fairness to the referee. And there has been a goal in the other game in this Group F. No surprise, Real Madrid lead Legia Warsaw by a goal to 0. But, well, Aubameyang, he looks a different class at the moment.
He does look a different class, doesn't he? He's carried the team at times in recent months for Borussia Dortmund. He does really seem to have stepped into the breach since Robert Lewandowski quite controversially moved to Bayern Munich. He's talked himself up as someone who might possibly fancy his chances at Real Madrid in the future. But yeah, he's just so quick, so sharp, and looks like a man really in the prime of his career at the moment.
Yeah, pace and power. I mean, he hasn't seen that much of the ball, but of course he scored. Looked dangerous down the right flank. If Semedo's the man who's going to mark him most, he's going to have his work cut out. Gareth Bale scored the Real Madrid goal, incidentally. Jelle Vossen with a goal for Club Brugge. The only goals to have gone in the game tonight. 8 matches, of course. Aubameyang scored in this one. As Dortmund come again down at the left-hand side, streaming forward is the fullback Passlack, but he's just shown too much in the end, perhaps being a little bit too greedy. Is that another pull on Markovic? No, says the referee this time. Markovic looking over his shoulder longingly, but doesn't get the verdict from the referee. But Sporting not seeing as much of the ball now, really, since that goal. As Dortmund come again, Weigl with a good diagonal out to the left-hand side. Good touch as well from Dembele. He's taking on Charlotto. He's going around the outside, gets to the ball and slips at actually the moment he's trying to cross the ball. And that's going to slide out of play for a goal kick. But after that starts, it's a different game now.
Yeah, it certainly is, isn't it? Dortmund are really in control of this game. First time I've really seen Dembele there. Unfortunately, couldn't deliver the ball, just lost his footing at the key time. But I imagine both him and Schlotto seem to have plenty of pace, don't they? So they could have a bit of a scrappy field down the right-hand side.
Yeah, certainly. But all the fullbacks that have been on the show really have shown a willingness to get forward. So we might see some attacking football. Probably still as much from Sporting, even though they do get plenty behind the ball. But they're at home and, of course, trailing. So I'm sure their intensity is going to stay on trying to get forward, but of course they've got to get the ball first, and Dortmund happy to knock it around their defenders. Weigl with another good diagonal though, picking out Dembele. Gelson is back there helping out Charlotto, but it's support comes from past that ball in, free header. Oh, brilliant save from the keeper. Aubameyang looked over his shoulder to check the flag had gone up, and I think it had, but still the referee he is definitely offside, but I mean, it's a decent header, good save.
Yeah, 2 or 3 of them were offside in the end, but he's a great header actually by Aubameyang. Gets real power down into the ground, but well read by Patricio. Diving to his left-hand side and palming round the post, but it just shows how dangerous Dortmund can be. And after that bright spark, Sporting really seemed to have gone into the shell.
Yeah, got a throw in again down their right. The goal kick pretty much is straight out of play, and it's on the halfway line with Ginter more than willing to take it quickly. Sporting are trying to put a high press on, as it were, but Dortmund are able to go back to their keeper, and Berkey clears downfield. This time it's over the head of Aubameyang. Patricio comes out of his area to collect. Just wrong foot, so Aubameyang wants an option, but he hits it long towards Bastos. Cleared away to the halfway line, but it's going to come back to Doss' area again. This time he lays it off for Markovic under pressure. Does well to win a throw-in off the legs of Kagawa. Second goal has gone in at the Bernabeu. Marcello. So Real Madrid perhaps proving that Legia Warsaw, the whipping boys in this group. They've of course been beaten in both of their games so far. Real Madrid perhaps finding a groove. They were big winners at the weekend, but they needed a 94th minute winner to beat Sporting.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, is it? I can tell you, Legia, I think they've got a penalty kick in that game as well, so obviously a bit of an end-to-end encounter at the Bernabeu, and Legia have converted from the spot, so they've got an immediate reply. But yeah, the Liga seems to have gone down again this season, doesn't it? But they're being tested in the Champions League, and I thought as soon as we went 2-0 up, we could be looking at 4 or 5, but Legia have got one back in that game. Yeah,
it might still be 4 or 5. I think it was 6-1 at the weekend, wasn't it, for Real Madrid? But Sporting are trying to get their way back into this game. Of course, they kept Real Madrid quiet for a long period and got the first goal, but they're chasing the game now. Dortmund are trying to exploit it. Aubameyang, Kagawa down the right-hand side. Aubameyang's pulled back to Kagawa. Well, Kagawa goes down under pressure, wanting a free kick. He's told to get up. And, well, Sporting win the ball back. Cavani arrives a challenge. Now Markovic is streaming into the German half, but he's just run into Marc Bartra. The touch approaching the defender was heavy. Bartra comes away with it, and BVB can start again. as they work it back to the halfway line. Quite happy to start from the back. I thought Kagawa might have had a free kick, given what was it Markovic got earlier on in about 5 minutes ago. The referee waved it away then.
Yeah, initially I thought he went down a bit easily, but then there was 2 or 3 Sporting defenders who seemed to be having a bit of a go at him on the ground. There was a few stray boots in there, and I think the Japanese player was a bit unlucky there, but yeah, it's all Dortmund at the moment. Sporting are simply struggling to get out of their own half.
Into the 22nd minute, and off-tube studio commentary of this contest. Sporting 0, Borussia Dortmund 1, but they do have a throw-in. Dortmund did, but made a bit of a mess of it, and so it's Sporting who have the opportunity, with Ziegler down the left-hand side, wanting to go long from inside his own half, and it's not the best directed, straight to Weigl. Now Goetze lays it off to Paslak, hits it long towards Aubameyang, beaten by Semedo. Kagawa can't quite keep it alive, and Sporting Lisbon finds space down the right-hand side for Charlotto, who's got bags of energy and a fair bit of pace as well, although he relies on some support coming from Gelson. The yellow shirts are funneled back into defensive positions, so there's a bit more patience now about Sporting Lisbon until they're put under pressure. Hit long to the box. Bartra headed clear, not fantastically well. Brian Ruiz again pokes it towards the area, partially cleared once more, though Gelson's attempted ball to Charlotto down the right is under hit and scrambled away by Paslak as Sporting try and turn the screw. Certainly a bit of pace about their attacking play, certainly a bit of energy. The one-touch stuff. Brian Ruiz in a central position. Now bringing it forward is Gelson, looking to get the ball through to Dost. Papastathopoulos' clearance is half blocked, but it's picked up by Ginter, who's striding forward. He's only got Aubameyang ahead of him. Aubameyang's peeled away. He's still going. Is the fullback into the box? And the shot way over the bar in the end. I beg his pardon, it was Pusilic under pressure. I suppose, having pulled away and not spotted him, he didn't really have many other options. Not the best shot in the world.
Yeah, I think Sporting did quite well. They backed off and made him make the decision. He holds up a hand in apology to Aubameyang, who was trying to draw the defenders out and give him a bit of an angle. But in the end, Pusilic did well to carry the ball. Unfortunately, though, it was not the greatest finish.
Around the halfway point of the first period, and the game has changed from the early exchanges. Sporting started well, came out on top, certainly with a bit of fire about them, but the goal has changed all that. Aubameyang's strength, pace and cool finish on 9 minutes has certainly got the confidence levels up in the visitors. They're not exactly creating a raft of chances. Goetze worked 1-2 down the left-hand side, cross a little bit too close to the keeper, although Patricio still had to be brave to dive at Aubameyang's feet. Aubameyang with a free head.
All those extremely good players. Gundogan, of course, left in the summer. Mats Hummels as well. So they're having a bit of a changeover, but still an extremely strong lineup and an exciting team as well. Here's Dembele on the left-hand side, coming into the game now. Feeds it through to Aubameyang. Ziegler got a touch. I think maybe Aubameyang actually got the last touch. Tried his best to keep it in. However, it did go out for a goal kick. Aubameyang tries to claim the corner. Not to be, though. And in fact, he did well there. He went off for a throw, which Ziegler will take. Left back for Ajax man, of course, down the line looking for Brian Ruiz, former Fulham man. Plenty of, a few pretty familiar faces, you feel, for English listeners. Ruiz, Markovic, of course, on loan for Liverpool. Sebastian Coates in the back four on loan for Sunderland. Joe Campbell is another one on the bench. A loanee from Arsenal. We see Elias is just out-muscled by Paslak, who for 18 looks a pretty solid customer, the fullback. And yeah, just used his strength there. It was Gelson, in fact, who went down a bit, maybe a bit too easily looking for the free kick, but it just seemed to have lost its momentum a bit this game in the last 2 or 3 minutes. But at the moment, it's all Dortmund, isn't it?
Yeah, Dortmund just look a little bit more composed. They're quite happy to have the ball, even if it's not threatening a goal. And I still think they could get Götze and Kagawa, of course, who Manchester United fans may know. Get them involved a fraction more. So a good drive and run from Pusilic. I think he's been rather quiet. But I mean, I think when you've got Aubameyang, he's quite happy playing that lone striker's role. I mean, he can win headers, but he's got pace and power as well. And we saw him with the step overs. So he's a real threat, and Lisbon have to be aware of that. Hence, they've got plenty behind the ball when BVB are in possession. Chances have dried up somewhat. But yeah, BVB very happy. They're the away sides. Just need that second goal.
Yeah, I think that would make a huge difference. Elsewhere, pretty quiet so far on the goals front. As Rob's already said, Club Brugge 1, FC Porto 0 in Leicester's group. They're still goalless. The Foxes at home to FC Copenhagen, and it's Bayer Leverkusen 0, Spurs 0 in the other game. Involving an English team tonight, as we see Lazar Markovic on the right-hand side. A couple of step-overs on the edge of the box, finds Elias now. He'll drift it towards the back post, looking for Doss. It's headed up in the air by Papastathopoulos, and Ginter completes the clearance for Dortmund, but it wasn't the strongest bit of play by the right-back, and now Ruiz has it on the left-hand side. Is shown up by Pulisic, who does well. Ruiz went down far too easily, and the break could be on here for Dortmund if Götze's got his sprinting boots on. No, he doesn't. Well played by Gelson, and the move breaks down. But
welcome to the English program in Korea.
Just simply cannot get a foot on the ball at the moment, lacking
EPIC is a
any
government
real
program
composure.
run by the Korean Ministry of Education.
Dortmund coming
We've
forward
been working
again.
since
It's 1-4 by
1995 to place
Paslak. Straight to Coates, though. He controls well and smashes it up into there. Real lack of composure in the general play at the moment. Long ball down the right-hand side, looking for the run of Pulisic. Swept up by Semedo, and long ball forward by Patrizio, and really just needs someone from either side just to put the foot on the ball. Maybe that's going to be Brian Ruiz. He finds Lazar Markovic. He's got a Gelson running down the right-hand side into a bit of space. The ball was just ahead of him, so he's just going to have to control this and go back now to Charlotto. Right start by him now. William Carvalho, the Sporting skipper. Been linked to a number of English clubs over the years. The ball comes in. Head goes in from Dorst. It's just wide, though, of goalkeeper Roman Berkey's right hand upright. That was a bit better from Sporting. Maybe just a bit more direct in their play. Gelson was with the cross, but a difficult one for Dorst. Always going away from goal. And yeah, it's a tough skill when you're going away from goal, trying to get the power and direction on it. In the end, well wide of the upright.
Yeah, I mean, they're not afraid to get crosses in. I mean, they know they've got Bastos, who's got an aerial advantage over seemingly both Papastathopoulos and Bartra, so they've been putting crosses in. They just haven't been particularly good. That one was all right. Doster's made it work. Like you say, difficult to get both the power and the placement there, and obviously he didn't get either. Glanced at a fraction too much. Here come Dortmund again.
Yes, Götze into the feet of Kagawa. Second spell of the club, of course. Moves it out to Pulisic. Opens up onto his left foot, strikes it. Goal was well read, though, by Ruben Semedo. Just stepped across the line and played it with his side foot in the end. Out for a throw-in. 30 yards out on the right-hand side. Ginter will take it, playing right back tonight. Played centre-half against Real Madrid in the last round of fixtures. He finds Aubameyang, chests it on, can't take it in, though. Pulisic now Sporting playing a bit of a dangerous game, I think. Playing the way out of trouble, but it's worked until Markovic, loose touch by him, and good play by Bartra. Gets it back for Dortmund, and now Kagawa can break. Step over, edge of the area now. Poor ball. Should have gone for the shot by Maimon. He tried to find a teammate, but he loses possession. Now the break is on. It's Gelson on the right-hand side for Sporting Lisbon. He's got 3 green and white shirts with him. Uses Charlotto down the right-hand side. Charlotto going away from goal, then passes it straight to Paslak. And the move breaks down, and yeah, just lacking a bit of composure at the moment. Sporting, almost as if they know how big this game could be, and maybe some nerves on show out there.
Yeah, I mean, if they want to go through into the Champions League, of course, they might still make the Europa League, likely with Leisure in the team. in the group, rather. They've got to win this and hope for the best away from home. And I quite like their approach up to a point. I mean, they've got a bit of pace. I mean, Charlotto's has covered as much ground as anybody. And he's willing to do that every time they come forward down the right. So they've been a threat with Gelson and Charlotte. Perhaps not so much on the left-hand side. Ruiz has popped up in central positions. Markovic, I mean, he's trying, but the final pass just hasn't quite been there. They forced a mistake, though. Here come the home side again.
Yeah, it's Markovic with the ball through, looking for Martins. He's done well. He skips it over the goalkeeper. Oh, I thought he did everything right. In fact, it was Elias who got the shot of the way in the end. It was the move. It was well played by Markovic. He just helped it on. Elias running through, got the better of Pasalic on his left foot. Was it a save by the goalkeeper? Just going to have a look. Oh, he's just got his... yes, it was a save by the goalkeeper. Elias played it on with his left foot onto his right foot, and the goalkeeper spread himself well, and with a shoulder played it away. We get Rob's thoughts in a second. Quick corner, Ziegler towards the back post. Doss comes in, easy save in the end for Berkey, though. I think he'll just try and calm things down. It was a well-crafted chance there for Sporting, and just a touch unfortunate that Elias lost his footing at the vital moments.
Yeah, I mean, if you're Thomas Tuchel, though, maybe I always look at the defenders first. I mean, Paslak's got to deal with that. He's there first, but he's tentative, perhaps not wanting to go in with his right foot. And Elias, who isn't the biggest, just brushes him off. I mean, that's really poor defending, but it's a great approach play. And the break from midfield wasn't tracked by Dortmund's. Lovely play. I mean, even the final ball, I thought it was overhit, but Elias has made it work. Unfortunately, there's a slight miss hit as he slipped, and the keeper's managed to get a touch. But that was a great move from Sporting.
Yeah, maybe that gives some Sporting some encouragement, as Pulisic does well to get the better of Ziegler there, and maybe a break on, but no. Ginter didn't want to turn out, and that will just... make Dortmund more alert. They seem to be going into a bit of autopilot after opening the scoring so early on 9 minutes. But Sporting have come back into the game in the last 10 or so. As Weigl on the halfway line plays it forward, looking for Goetze, finds him as well. Dembele now hugging the touchline, wants the ball, eventually gets it from Goetze. Dembele running at Schlotto, right-footed ball into the box, looking for Aubameyang. He gets the header in. It's wide though of the target. That was good play by Dortmund. Goetze, then Dembele coming in on his right foot. It really is a genuinely two-footed player, the Frenchman. Finds Aubameyang 11 or 12 yards out. Again, similar to Dost, going away from goal, wasn't it? Decent effort, but couldn't work the goalkeeper.
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't really challenged there. Like you say, going away from goal, but he's got to be put under more pressure than that. I mean, he did bring a good save out of Patricia. That was not that far wide of the post. Actual attempts on goal, well, it's 4 apiece, 2 for Sporting on target, just 1 for Dortmund. But that, of course, is the one that counts because it separates the two sides. Bas Dost is, I think, penalised for jumping over Mario Goetze. He's landed awkwardly as well, but yeah, there have been sides in the last 5 or 10 that maybe Sporting are certainly capable of getting a goal. They could have done a little better on a couple of occasions. Dortmund going through the gears, I'm not so sure. I still don't think they get enough players involved. The likes of Gagao, the likes of Goetze, not quite doing enough for me, but yeah, it's evenly poised.
Yeah, evenly poised. Another goal elsewhere. CSKA Moscow have gone 1-0 up against Monaco, and ironically, it's a Monaco player for scored for CSKA Moscow. Lassina Traore on loan in the Russian capital has got the goal. 3-1 now to Real Madrid. We'll get that goal scorer for you in a second. Ginter's ball down the right-hand side, scramble in the area. It comes to Dembele, gets a shot away. It's Aubameyang, in fact. Great save by Patricio, going down to his right-hand side. The goalkeeper didn't really cover himself in glory earlier on in the move. He spilled across under very little pressure from Pulisic. Aubameyang got the shot away eventually. However, a good save in the end by Patricio. Like I say, he made a bit of a mare of the opening cross, but a really good save down to his right-hand side.
Yeah, I mean, he's made up for something of a flap, really. Could have been a bit more convincing. But all of a sudden, BVB have woken up. Dembele's playing on the right now. Tries to slip it through into the box there. Aubameyang feels he's been blocked off there illegally. He was blocked off, but the referee's not given a foul. So Yeah, there's just all of a sudden they've woken up a little bit, having another look at the Aubameyang chance. And it's a good save because it's played through the legs of Schelotto as well, so maybe the keeper was a little bit unsighted. But he's got down low and managed to deal with it. But yeah, almost out of nothing. Here come Sporting though, end to end.
Yeah, Schelotto down the right hand side, ball's not the best, away by Bartra at the near post. Marco Asensio got the goal for Real Madrid, so 3-1 at the Bernabeu now as Schelotto again plays the ball, and it's over everyone in the green and white shirt though, and away by Ginter. Lyon have missed a penalty against Juventus, still 0-0 in that clash. Elsewhere, Bayer Leverkusen 0, Tottenham 0, Bruges 1, Porto 0, CSK 1, Monaco 0, Dynamo Zagreb 0, Sevilla 0, Leicester 0, Copenhagen 0, as I said, Lyon 0, Juventus 0, and elsewhere in this group, Real 1, Legia 1, still 1-0 to the away side Dortmund in this game. Off Tube Studio commentary, 36.5 minutes on the clock, and that's a mistake by Felix Pasalac, in by Martins to Markovic. Awkward defending by Mark Bartra, not really sure what he was doing there, seemed to pass it back towards his own goal as he tried to clear it. Luckily for him, not for the first time tonight, Berkey was sharp off his line there.
Yeah, I'm not convinced by the defending at times from Dortmund. I thought it was read well by Papastathopoulos, but then they're just not dealing with it. They're doing the first rest. But yeah, real good game. Both sides willing to attack in numbers. It's not a defensive game. Obviously, we've only had the one goal set piece situation here. I think it's a little bit unfortunate against Dembele because he went to hit the ball, realised his boot was going to be high, so he didn't follow through, and he's been penalised for a high boot without making any contact. So I think this is harsh, but Sporting will be looking to capitalise.
Yeah, I think there'll be a few frustrated Dortmund players if something does come from this. It's floated towards the back post, nodded back into the danger zone by Semedo, and yeah, a bit of an awkward clearance by Papastathopoulos in the end, out for a corner kick to Sporting. Semedo it was who nodded it back in, and maybe the keeper could have given a bit more help there, but it is a Sporting corner kick, left-footed in-swinger from Brian Ruiz. Costa Rica gets his foot around it, the goalkeeper comes, it's into the net, but it's a foul on Burkitt, who the Sporting players aren't happy with the referee. It was Coates who put it in. The Sporting players are asking the referee to change his mind, but I don't think he's going to. Berkey, let's say it again, for me, has got away with one there. He just seems to run into Dost, and Coates puts it in. It's poor defending again by Bartra, but yeah, I think that's very soft, that one, Rob.
I mean, the argument is that it's a foul by Dost, but I mean, Dost is in the vicinity of the ball, but it's not exactly jumped in the way of the keeper. I mean, the ball's heading towards him. Why does he have to get out of the way? He and the defender have missed it. The keeper's run into the back of Dost, and it's been smashed home. So, yeah, I think that's rather lucky. Initially, actually, in live play, I thought he'd actually run into his own defender. I mean, Dost is there. He does make contact with Dost. I mean, Dost is stood there, and the ball's coming to him, so he's not gone out of his way to get into Berkey's way. Yeah, like you say, real let-off.
Yeah, I'd be pretty frustrated if I was on the Sporting bench. Sevilla have gone 1-0 up away at Dynamo Zagreb. Sami Nasri with the goal. Here come Dortmund on the break. Oh, Kagawa's ball's a poor one, looking for Aubameyang. Really overhit there by the Japanese star. You expect so much more from on the ball. You all know the quality he's got. Riyad Mahrez has put Leicester ahead 1-0 against Copenhagen. Here's Dortmund again. It's Aubameyang in the box. Wants to get a shot away. Oh, wide of the upright again. Once again, third or fourth chance is missed now. Of course, opening the scoring. But he seems to do everything right. Forged his own shooting opportunity. He twists, he turns, should possibly have squared it to Kagawa. Got the shot away, but missing the target.
Half-time approaching at the José Alvalade, real end-to-end game. Both sides could have scored more goals, and maybe one should at least have been given to Sporting. They have certainly responded well. Doss with a glancing header wide before Elias couldn't quite cap off a slick approach move. He slipped when he had the keeper to beat, slightly mishit his shot, and it was blocked away by Berkey for a corner. But BVB have struck back. Aubameyang with a headed chance couldn't hit the target, and after Patricio flapped at a Puzelich cross, he had another opportunity, shot through the legs of Charlotte. It was a good save from the keeper recovering his position. But then Berkey, the Borussia Dortmund keeper, got away with one. He came off his line to try and collect a corner, ran into Dost more than anything else, and after the ball was slammed into the back of the net, the referee decided to penalise Dost, but he literally didn't move, and Berkey ran into the back of him, so it did seem harsh. But Dortmund went straight down the other end, and Aubameyang jinked his way around the box, around the penalty spot, but pulled his shot wide of the post when he really ought to have done better. But both sides have had chances. It's a pretty decent game, but it remains Sporting 0, Dortmund 1.
Yeah, as you see, Gelson just offside on the right-hand side. Pretty slack play, really, by the 21-year-old. And the Sporting fan seems to be in a good voice this evening. Plenty going on in the stands by the looks of it. Was that a foul on Dembele? No, not according to the referee. Then Coates was extremely well, coolly Cruyff turning away from Dembele, and then Charlotte under no pressure at all. His first touch goes out for a throw-in. So throw-in to Dortmund, 40 yards from the Sporting goal, and it's played by Pasalic, who does really well. The youngster, right-footed left back by the looks of it, twists away from two would-be tacklers and then finds Ginter on the other side. Weigler tries a chipped ball, gets it back after losing it, and a right-footed shot's a good one. It's into the bottom corner. What a goal that is by the Borussia Dortmund youngster. He picked it up, chipped it over the top. It is Julian Weigler by the looks of it. He struck it out of nowhere. He got it. His first pass was a poor one. He then got it back, edge of the area, and bounced it into the back of the net. It is Weigler with the strike, and out of nowhere, it looks like Dortmund, after a real let-off at the other end, could have put this game to bed already.
Half-time just about upon us, but Borussia Dortmund have doubled their lead. A wonderful individual goal in the end. Weigl intercepted an attempted breakout from Sporting. A couple of shimmies, beat defenders, got towards the edge of the D right-hand side and pulled out a screamer that left Patricio just scrambling at air. Got nowhere near it. Again, you might argue it's a little bit against the run of play. Sporting have been as, if not more, threatening approaching half-time, but it's Dortmund have been clinical. It's Weigl with the goal, and they've doubled their advantage. Half-time just about upon us. It's Sporting Lisbon 0, Borussia Dortmund 2.
Yeah, that was great play by Weigl. Lovely right-footed finish with the inside of his foot curling into the bottom corner. And now Dost and Socrates having a bit of a talking to each other. Free kick against Dost, but he seemed to stand his ground there. I think it was somewhat unlucky by... or on the Dutchman. I think he might have a feeling that it's not his night tonight. Of course, he was the one deemed to be at fault for the disallowed goal for Sporting Lisbon, which we both agree was quite a harsh decision, and Dortmund have taken full advantage. Here's Goetze on the left-hand side of the pitch, finds Pasalic. Actually, it was a poor ball by Goetze, gives it away, and now Sporting can come forward. It's Gelson on the right-hand side, finds Charlotte into the feet of Ruiz. Goes past one and goes past a second yellow shirt. Seemed to have gone into a bit of trouble. Went down, and the referee decided it was enough for a foul. Just having a look at this, there was a hint of his shirt being tugged, but again, I thought he went down a bit too easily then.
Well, I think he's won the free kick. I mean, you might argue there was a foul there, but he's kind of ridden the challenge and then thought, I'm actually running into traffic, so I will eventually go down. And not that I suggest you should go down regardless, but I mean, if you're going to do it when the foul's being made. Otherwise, it just looks a little bit soft, doesn't it? But I mean, they won't care. They probably need a goal before the break. Dortmund with a 2-goal cushion, you would fancy them to see out this game. But half-time, they've got a free kick here.
Yeah, it's played in by Elias into the head of Semedo, but no one really read it. and they clear the lines, and the referee's not going to play any stoppage time at the end of this first half. Sporting started well, but Dortmund hit them with a sucker punch. Then they took control. Then Sporting got back into the game. However, Weigler's goal on the stroke of half-time, making all the difference. It's currently Sporting 0, Borussia Dortmund 2.
Off time at the José Alvalade, Sporting Lisbon 0, Borussia Dortmund 2. It's not been a reflection of the first half. Sporting started well, but hit by a sucker punch. Aubameyang with pace and power, and then a deft finish from just inside the box, giving Dortmund a 9th-minute lead. Both sides exchanged chances before BVB got away with one. Berkey given a foul when he flapped it across. Coates smashing it into the back of the net, and to rub salt into the wound, Weigl smashed one in from 25 yards to give Dortmund the lead. Off time at the José Alvalade, and it's Sporting Lisbon 0, Borussia Dortmund 2. Sporting started well, but BVB took the lead in the 9th minute. Aubameyang showing pace and power, and then a cool finish, chipping the keeper to give them the lead 9 minutes into the game. Both sides exchanged chances after that one. Might have had more goals. Sporting unlucky to get a goal ruled out after Berkey was judged to have been penalised. To make matters worse, Dortmund almost went down the other end, scoring straight away. 2 minutes left in the first half. Weigl smashing one in from 25 yards. 0-2. Off time in Portugal, it's Sporting Lisbon 0, Borussia Dortmund 2. Sporting started well, but Dortmund took the lead in the 9th minute. Aubameyang showing pace and power, and a cool finish, chipping the keeper from just inside the box. Both sides traded chances, might have had more goals, but Sporting should have had one. Goal chalked up, Coates smashing home. Berkey judged to have been fouled. He wasn't. And to make matters worse, 2 minutes before the break, Weigl smashed one in from just outside the D, a little bit against the run of play. Half time, 0-2. Off time in Portugal, it's Sporting Lisbon 0, Borussia Dortmund 2. Sporting started well, but Dortmund took the lead in the 9th minute. Aubameyang showing pace and power, and a cool finish, chipping the keeper from just inside the box. Both sides traded chances, might have had more goals, but Sporting should have had one. Goal chalked up, Coates smashing home. Berkey judged to have been fouled. He wasn't. And to make matters worse, 2 minutes before the break, Weigl smashed one in from just outside the D, a little bit against the run of play. Half time, 0-2. Off time in Portugal, it's Sporting Lisbon 0, Borussia Dortmund 2. Sporting started well, but Dortmund took the lead in the 9th minute. Aubameyang showing pace and power, and a cool finish, chipping the keeper from just inside the box. Both sides traded chances, might have had more goals, but Sporting should have had one. Goal chalked up, Coates smashing home. Berkey judged to have been fouled. He wasn't. And to make matters worse, 2 minutes before the break, Weigl smashed one in from just outside the D, a little bit against the run of play. Half time, 0-2. Off time in Portugal, it's Sporting Lisbon 0, Borussia Dortmund 2. Sporting started well, but Dortmund took the lead in the 9th minute. Aubameyang showing pace and power, and a cool finish, chipping the keeper from just inside the box. Both sides traded chances, might have had more goals, but Sporting should have had one. Goal chalked up, Coates smashing home. Berkey judged to have been fouled. He wasn't. And to make matters worse, 2 minutes before the break, Weigl smashed one in from just outside the D, a little bit against the run of play. Half time, 0-2. Off time in Portugal, it's Sporting Lisbon 0, Borussia Dortmund 2. Sporting started well, but Dortmund took the lead in the 9th minute. Aubameyang showing pace and power, and a cool finish, chipping the keeper from just inside the box. Both sides traded chances, might have had more goals, but Sporting should have had one. Goal chalked up, Coates smashing home. Berkey judged to have been fouled. He wasn't. And to make matters worse, 2 minutes before the break, Weigl smashed one in from just outside the D, a little bit against the run of play. Half time, 0-2. Half time in Portugal, it's Sporting Lisbon 0, Borussia Dortmund 2. Sporting started well, but Dortmund took the lead in the 9th minute. Aubameyang showing pace and power and a cool finish, chipping the keeper from just inside the box. Both sides traded chances, might have had more goals, but Sporting should have had one. Goal chalked off, Coates smashing home. Berkey judged to have been fouled, he wasn't. And to make matters worse, 2 minutes before the break, Weigl smashed one in from just outside the D, a little bit against the run of play. Half time 0-2. Half time in Portugal, it's Sporting Lisbon 0, Borussia Dortmund 2. Sporting started well, but Dortmund took the lead in the 9th minute. Aubameyang showing pace and power and a cool finish, chipping the keeper from just inside the box. Both sides traded chances, might have had more goals, but Sporting should have had one. Goal chalked off, Coates smashing home. Berkey judged to have been fouled, he wasn't. And to make matters worse, 2 minutes before the break, Weigl smashed one in from just outside the D, a little bit against the run of play. Half time 0-2. Half time in Portugal, it's Sporting Lisbon 0, Borussia Dortmund 2.
I think Thomas Tuchel have told his side just to keep things calm and composed. But yeah, it was Sporting coming out of the traps. You imagine no Jorge Jesus for them tonight on the bench. He's suspended for the game, the coach. But it's a decent effort, isn't it? I think Berkey at full stretch, but he tried to actually catch the ball, didn't he? And maybe just got his angles wrong somewhat. But a good start by Sporting, and you do feel that they're going to need to get an early goal if they are to get anything from this game.
Yeah, but it's scrap in the middle of the park at the moment. Head tennis ensues, but Carvalho eventually gets a foot on it for the home side. Forward to Gelson, who's actually in a central position at the moment. Played out to the left-hand side. And Ziegler forward to Doss, lay off to Elias as he looks for the overlapping Charlotto, finds him as well. Gelson takes over, but he's well tackled in the end by that was Puzelic playing on the left at the moment. Dortmund still have the ball, but they're still deep inside their own half as it's eventually hit long by Paslak downfield. Headed clear by Coates, but only to the centre circle where Goetz has picked it up. Now plays it to the left of the D to Aubameyang, tries to slip it into the run of Kagawa, appeals for handball. It was blocked by Coates, not given, didn't look a handball, and Sporting try and play down the left-hand side. Gelson, he just suckered Paslak in, knocked it past him, he's then caught, he stayed down. It's a free kick, referee's trotting across, and he'll give Paslak a yellow card. So quite a frenetic start to the second half.
Yeah, extremely so. It was a good block by Coates at the other end, and Gelson controls well, goes past Pasalac, who makes sure he doesn't continue his momentum down the right-hand side. Gelson went down as if he'd been shot, didn't he? It was almost like in a spaghetti western. However, a clear foul and a deserved yellow card for Pasalac too.
Yeah, this defensive situation for them to deal with. They haven't been fantastic from set pieces or crosses into the box. Perhaps not easy with Bastos to target. Coates up from the back as well, of course, and Semedo. They've taken it short before it's drilled into the far post. It's a free header for Coates. Made a bit of a meal of it. He's got a second chance to try and make something happen. Doesn't quite work. And it's hammered away downfield by Papastathopoulos. Out of play for a throw-in halfway line, right-hand side. But they have looked kind of frail to me in defensive positions.
Yeah, very much so. That was a free header for Coates. Not exactly sure what he was doing. He seemed to see it all the way, set himself, then duck underneath the ball, and it went up into the sky. But yeah, Dortmund, they don't convince. Of course, no Subotic, no Hummels these days at the back, and Papastathopoulos and Barch are very much a work in progress. Sven Bender's played there. Hasn't he at times at the back? He's injured at the moment, but yeah, they do look a bit shaky. Two young fullbacks as well can't really help him. I think maybe this does look like a team in transition under Thomas Tuchel, doesn't it? And a few teething problems at the moment.
Yeah, Doss penalised again, but again it looked to me as though he'd just beaten his man in the air. Bartra was the man who is not as tall as him and lost out aerially, but the referee gave a free kick. Doss had his frustration, should know all about Dortmund. Having spent a few years at Wolfsburg, of course. Give away now from Papastathopoulos. Coming forward is Markovic. Papastathopoulos has worked really hard to try and win it back. He's pointing to the ball. Referee is a bit whistle happy, and then they try and take the free kick pretty quickly. Sporting want more action taken. Markovic goes down. Is that a foul for you? It didn't look a foul to me.
It's not a foul at all. The referee's given a few quite strange decisions. Slovenian officials, Damian Skamina. Yeah, I've been left a bit miffed by some of his calls. That looked like good, poor play initially by Papastathopoulos, but extremely well, and yeah, unfortunate there, I think, for the Greek centre half.
Another cross comes in from the left-hand side this time, and well, it's just hammered away, almost parallel to the goal line, so it hasn't got much distance from Mark Bartra. An attack and throw situation. Ziegler he's pointed into the area. Looks as though he's got some kind of a long throw in his locker. It's not the best, but Doster flicks it on. Headed clear by Paslak. Picked up by Carvalho. Cushions it down for Charlotto. Out to Gelson, right-hand side of the area. He was allowed to turn by Paslak. Now on a yellow card. He's still trying to wriggle away past Paslak, who's done really well in the end before hurriedly clearing left-footed. And that will be a throw which has been taken very quickly by Sporting. You can sense the urgency from the home side this evening. They need to. They're 2-0 down. They come again at the edge of the box. Little layoff from Brian Ruiz didn't quite work. And Weigl is trying to bring it clear. He's tugged back clear as day, that particular foul. But again, the chances are there. They're just not quite clinical enough around the edge of the box.
No, it's just that extra touch that you need, a bit of extra magic to set up an opponent or move it away from a defender. Sporting just seem to be lacking that at the moment, but they've got quality, haven't they? Markovic, Ruiz, Gelson and Doss is a pretty formidable front four, I think, domestically, but still maybe something to prove at this level, but they're all good players, and you just to expect a bit more from them going forward.
They're trying to play their way out of trouble, and well, the referee doesn't foul Markovic, having tussled with Weigl, but again, they're just a little bit too desperate to get it forward. Bartra goes back to Berkey, who ease it out to the right-hand side, and Ginter allowed to turn up to the halfway line. Aubameyang there's strong enough and fast enough to get there first. He's then clipped by Markovic inside his own half. Free kick, BVB, just inside their own half. He's lived on scraps, really, Aubameyang, but he's got a goal and might have had another one or two. That's another crystal foul on that occasion. He's not getting everything wrong, in my opinion, is the referee, Damir Skamina. But BVB trying to weather something of a storm. Papastathopoulos goes diagonally, and it was kept alive by Puselic, beating Charlotto in the air. Dortmund have it back inside the Sporting half, but Goetze shows too much to a combination of Carvalho and Elias. A back heel then from Elias gives the ball back to Dortmund, and they ship it into their own half. Bartra infield to Weigl, now to Kagawa in a bit of space, over to the right hand side, but he's underhit that one towards Dembele. Sporting have it back with the game in the 54th minute now, and a bit of pace and power shown by Carvalho. Held off Carvalho, driving forward, works it out to the right hand side, and Gelson, who slips as he crosses, but it's still in there, and Berkey comes to make a good claim in the end. He's picked his passage through to the ball and bowls it out. Now it's Weigl bringing it clear. He's tugged back by Elias. That'll be a free kick and a yellow card. And this game is remarkably stretched for a side that's winning 2-0.
Yeah, it is. You think Dortmund will be just trying to close things out a bit more. Blatant foul, wasn't it, by Elias? Almost a rugby tackle on Weigl going forward. But yeah, it's a very open and attacking field. But you do feel that will actually benefit Dortmund. They've got more quality overall. As we see, there's been a sending off in the Lyon against Juventus game. It's Mario Lemina, the young midfield player, who has received a second yellow card. So all square in Lyon, but Juve down to 10 men.
They had the free kick, Dortmund, but they made an absolute hash of it. And quick breakout down the left-hand side for Ruiz, who tries to pull it back to the edge of the box, and Bastos, but it's cleared away by Bartra. Dembele gets the better of Ziegler, but Ziegler's worked hard to win it back. Referee's pointing to the ball. Dortmund again thought they could have had a foul. It's not, with Sporting on the attack. Gelson's just underhit the pass to Charlotto, but Charlotto does make it work, and so they're still on the attack. They're going the wrong way at the moment, as Aubameyang's come back to help out defensively, and it's back on the halfway line with Semedo, who pirouettes away from Aubameyang, finds Coates as they come down the right again. Charlotto to Gelson, who got there ahead of his man, played into Bastos, who just inside the box right channel has gone for an absolute thunderbolt, but he's hit it almost straight, and it's never threatening the goal. Half a chance for Bastos. Yeah,
disappointing effort in the end, wasn't it, from Bastos? The first time he's really had a chance in this second half. The ball was down the right-hand channel. I don't think he fancied himself to beat Bartra on the outside. He didn't take it on and struck it first time. And yeah, the less said about it, the better, I think. Really poor effort by Bastos. But a few encouraging signs now for Sporting.
Early exchange in the second half. Well, Sporting have bossed them. They had to, really, because they're 2-0 down. I've created a couple of chances as well. Gelson cutting in from the right. Still went with his right boot outside of the boot curler, which was palmed away by Berkey. Coates then had a free header from a free kick, but kind of messed it up. Headed it straight up in the air and couldn't make much of the second. attempt he got before Bas Dost fired wide down the right channel, but they're doing all the pressing of Sporting. There is still the potential for a breakout for BVB. Obviously Sporting are committing bodies forward, but they just haven't quite been clinical enough inside the final third. But in the main, it's Sporting that are on the attack, dominating possession, but of course they need to. They're 2-0 down and so far haven't found a goal to get them back into it. Sporting 0, Borussia Dortmund 2.
Yeah, and it's Sporting who come forward again. It's Carvalho into the feet of Dost. Back to Carvalho. Great challenge by Barter on the edge of the area. In fact, he's been fouled in that. Carvalho can't quite believe it. Looked like a fair effort for me. Just having a look. Yeah, it's an awkward one. Barter wins the ball and Carvalho's leg just gets caught up in his legs. It's quite a strange one. And Barter, in fact, heads the ball on the ground. So, yeah. I think probably about a free kick overall. Just seeing another chance Sporting rather had. Schelotto down the right-hand side, whipping the ball in, looking for Dost. Berkey not looking comfortable on crosses. The Swiss goalkeeper punching it down and maybe getting away with one there. Just about getting it clear. But yeah, Dortmund, for a team who are 2-0 up, aren't exactly closing the game out. I'm not really sure they're comfortable or capable of doing so. They are coming forward here, though, down the right-hand side. Kagawa, right edge over the box. Looks up, tries to feed it into the near post. Good defending by Ruben Sevedo. And out for a corner kick. And, in fact, a bit of respite for the Germans.
Yeah, a bit of respite. They need something. I don't think they're playing with a full complement. Personally, I don't think Kagawa or Götze are doing enough in this game. Yes, they've had to weather a bit of pressure, but I mean, Götze, I suppose, is not figuring at all, really. Kagawa's been a little bit disappointed, but it might all change. It's Dembele with the corner, deep to the far post. Papastathopoulos wins the header. He's trying to go for the far post. It's well wide of the far post and beyond Ginter, so it's actually going to bounce away for a goal kick to Sporting Lisbon. Obviously, time is becoming a factor for the Portuguese as well. Campbell, Cesar, Oliveira, Andre Beto, Isgaio and Pereira on the bench. Options open to the coaches. Weidenfeller, Sahin, Moore, Roda, Piszczek, Bernich and Bonman for Dortmund. Sporting straight on the attack. Schelotto down the right. He's just overran it. Might have got a little nudge as the ball's crossing the goal line as well. Referee's not feeling particularly sympathetic. It's a goal kick. It was actually just inside the box, but it's shoulder to shoulder, and it's got to get round Paslak. Now it's Dortmund on the attack, left-hand side with Aubameyang onto his right foot, crosses over Kagawa. That doesn't take much. He's not the tallest. Headed clear, picked up by Götze. Now Weigl, 1-2 with Ginter, but Sporting have bodies back behind the ball. With the the hour mark just about upon us. No changes to the scorelines elsewhere, incidentally, as cross comes in from the right. Bit of a miscue from Semedo near post, but he's found a teammate. Gelson back in a deep position. Nice little shimmy. Buys him a bit of time and space. Siegelaar hits it long. Markovic surely offside. Indeed he is. Flag goes up. And the whistle follows. But Dortmund haven't really threatened in this second half. I fancy them to make the first change.
Yeah, I do. I think they might look at maybe someone like Nuri Sahin to come on, Sebastian Roda, just to shore things up. And just to say that, of course, Sporting are the ones to blink. Elias has been replaced. Yet to see the man who has come on for him. Looks like it's going to be Bruno Cesar to come on. So, yeah, after all the big build-up, it's Sporting who blink first.
Yeah, I suppose they had to. They've got to change the game. But I thought they're playing well enough in a way. They've had the best of the opening 15 minutes of the second half. And Dortmund haven't really got going, but they're 2-0 up. They're on the attack again. Not a great layoff from Dembele. And the breakout ensues, although Paslak sticking close to Gelson. Actually, he comes out on top on this occasion. Fires it to Berkey, who juggles a little bit. It was closed down by Ruiz. there's always a support option. Nice turn from Dembele to go past Semedo. There's 4 up in the attack here. He's trying to use the pace of Aubameyang right channel. He will get there ahead of Ziegler. He tries to just slide it across the edge of the 6-yard box. It's blocked back to him. Now Dembele floats it to the far post. The target there was Paslak up in Pusilic rather up in support. Paslak's the option for Pusilic. They work a very long 1-2, laboured, going away from goal. Again, Sporting have got plenty behind the ball, and Dortmund happy to go back to the halfway line and try and begin again. Dembele starting to liven up, fakes a shot, 25 yards out, goes past one, goes past the second, goes down in a bit of a heap. Doesn't really appeal for a foul, and the referee's not giving him one. And he's quickly back on his feet, although Ginter plays it off the legs of Coates, who's a little bit out of position there, to win a throw-in for Dortmund. With 62 minutes gone. Dembele is trying to get involved now. Nice 1-2 with Ginter, who digs out a cross on the run. Doesn't beat the man at the near post, who's Semedo, but Semedo's put it behind for another corner. So Dortmund have taken over that stat. This is only the 5th corner of the game, and it's now Dortmund 3-2 up on that particular score. But Dembele's starting to get involved.
Yeah, he looks a really good player, doesn't he, Dembele? So he's got a few goals for Rennes last year in France. Got the big move to Dortmund. He's already said that he sees himself playing at Barcelona in a few years' time. So obviously a pretty ambitious young man, only 19, but very, very skillful player. Already a French international as well.
Kick out with a high hanging cross to the far post. Nobody in yellow challenged it. There's only actually 3 in the box for that corner. Schlotto heads clear. Dortmund work it back to the halfway line where they will begin again. Bartra takes something of a chance cutting inside Markovic, but Markovic perhaps not alert to what was going to happen there. Attempted through ball from Paslak towards the run of Goetze is intercepted now. The break is on, but that's a poor pass out to the left. And all of a sudden Sporting get more and more frustrated the longer things don't quite work. Gelson the target, playing on the left at the moment. Substitute Cesar with the awry pass. Dortmund passing it across their defenders back to the keeper, but time's very much their friend at the moment. Bas Dost, I suppose, has been living on scraps. Maybe they aren't crossing enough. I thought Gelson's had a decent game for a Sporting Lisbon, but the balls into the box haven't been good enough so far. And Dost isn't really going to beat anybody for pace.
No, he's not, is he? And yeah, you got to feel a bit sorry for him, really. He's really, truly living off scraps at the moment. They've not been as direct in this second half. Maybe Bruno Cesar coming on in midfield, more of an attacking threat than Elias. I think it's fair to say the former Benfica man, he'll give them maybe a bit more thrust going forward. But yeah, Dost, he struggled because the men around him have struggled at times as well. Markovic has been a bit quiet in this second half. I've been disappointed by Brian Ruiz, but he's on the ball now. Maybe he can do something.
Yeah, playing in his central position. That's a good ball forward to Markovic, who lays it off to Cesar. Looking for the run of Brian Ruiz. He continues. He's not back to the keeper. The keeper's died and picked it up. That's going to be a back pass. I think Bartra probably didn't need to make that touch. He's still down on the day. He's not going to get a yellow card or anything, but the keeper diving at his feet might have just given him a knock. Did he need to make that touch? Bas Dost, he could have just shepherded him off. It's an interesting situation, though.
Yeah, it is. You don't see these too often, do you? An indirect free kick, probably 7 or 8 yards out, and I'm not really sure what Bartra's doing. He's had a few injury problems, maybe a few cross wires. As we see, Markovic is replaced by Joel Campbell, the man on loan from Arsenal. And to be fair, left footer, this could just set up nicely for him.
Yeah, he's running on to the pitch. There was a bit of a conflab around that free kick before the substitution was made. It doesn't look as though Campbell's getting involved in it. So it might not be an option. Carvalho is there, Brian Ruiz, Bruno Cesar. Let's call it 10 yards from goal. Obviously everybody's back behind the ball as far as Borussia Dortmund are concerned. It's not one way you can leave bodies up there. They need to protect what they've got at the moment, which is a 2-goal cushion. There's lots of bodies to get through, but we'll see how it pans out. Carvalho and Cesar are the only two standing over it now. The referee is trying to make sure that those men who, of course, need to be 10 yards away don't encroach too soon. He's just telling them That would include the keeper. Real Madrid have got a 4th goal, incidentally. Lucas with the goal. Lucas Vasquez, I think it is, for Real Madrid. That's 4-1 up now, so they've got 3 points in this group, of course. They're moving on to 7. At the moment, Dortmund will join them on 7. But that's with lead. It's teed up for Cesar. Absolutely smashes it. It's into the back of the net. I'm not sure there was much of a touch there from Carvalho, but the referee has given it. It's game on. Sporting 1, Dortmund 2.
Yeah, fine hit by Cesar, wasn't it? It's a bit of an awkward situation, those free kicks, aren't they? But they worked it well. Carvalho with the touch, and Cesar just put his laces through it from 9 yards out, 10, 11 yards out. Great strike there. I think it was past the Dortmund defenders before they could even see, and Sporting have got a real lifeline here. It's now Sporting 1, Dortmund 2.
Game on at the José Alvalade. Sporting have got themselves back in it. They've been the better of the 2 sides. They've won a free kick for a back pass. Mark Bartra, who got to a long ball downfield first, but trying to shepherd off Bastos. In the end, he couldn't help himself. Played it back to the keeper, who obviously picked it up. He was coming out to slide and pick it up in the first place. Didn't need the touch from Bartra. Took a while to actually take the free kick. The referee made sure everybody was back 10. It's only about 10 yards out. They're all on the line. And substitute Bruno Cesar has just run up to a little touch from Carvalho. Certainly in theory, the referee was happy with it. But Cesar, all his power, just smashed it through the crowd of players into the back of the net. And as mentioned, it's game on. It's now Sporting Lisbon 1, Borussia Dortmund 2, with about a quarter of the game left.
Yeah, the substitution worked, didn't it? Bringing Cesar on. Ezekiel. But plenty of food for thought now for Dortmund.
Yeah, it certainly is. A rejig there, breaking down the left-hand side. Sporting Lisbon. Free header, but it's just got wide past Dorst. Free header, 8 yards out, and under no pressure at all. And that could have easily been the equaliser. Perhaps should have been the equaliser. And that's down the right flank, of course, where Ginter might well have just vacated. But that's a great ball in. He's met it cleanly. He's just put it the wrong side of the post. For me, got to be an equaliser.
Yeah, it was a free header, wasn't it, for Bastos? And I think you're right, Rob. He should be scoring there. It was on his head. He had time to even set himself, all those things. Everything was in Dost's favour. However, missed the target. Of course, this could be a huge game for both of these sides. These are the teams who will meet in the double header on the 2nd of November, Wednesday the 2nd of November at the Westfalen Stadium. Then it's Warsaw at home, and then a trip to the Bernabeu, the final round of fixtures for Borussia Dortmund, for Sporting Lisbon. Well, it's the other way around for them, isn't it? Of course, they've got Madrid. Then Dortmund. Matthias Ginter's going to go off. I think he's had a maybe. I'm not entirely sure. I didn't see any incident with him. Maybe he's just been caught off the ball. Not entirely sure. Porto have got an equaliser. So it's Club Brugge 1, Porto 1. Just interested to see what happened with Matthias Ginter. That means Weigel's going to have to drop into the back four. So down to 10 men. They're going to need to be very careful here. Dortmund is at the other end though. Pulisic, who's been quiet in this second half since switching across to the left-hand side. I'll say he gives a free kick away. It looked a bit of a soft one for me. We've both been a bit unsure about the referee at times in this game. And yeah, that was Charlotto seemed to kick out at Pulisic, went down, got the free kick, and bought his side a bit, got them out of trouble. And I think Charlotto's smile on his face said it all at the end.
Yeah, it's. I mean, obviously he's on a yellow card, but I mean, Dortmund have kind of let this game go a little bit. I'm not entirely sure what they're doing. I'm not entirely sure Tuchel's done the right thing either. I mean, I've mentioned Goetze and Kikau. I mean, they've done nothing. Fair enough, you want Dembele on, but I mean, they're playing with 9 at the moment, effectively, in my opinion. They're doing most of it defending, and they're not defenders. So I think he needs to make a change, and pretty quickly, if they want to take the 3 points. It does actually look like they're about to make a change. In fact, they've made it while watching a replay of this the challenge there that won the free kick. But it's not, of course, for one of those attacking players. It's the injury. Roda is on in place of Ginter.
Yeah, so I'm just trying to figure. I think that means Piszczek's gone into the centre-half positions. Roda gone to right back. They've got plenty of injury problems at the moment. No Eric Durm, no Schmelzer, both fine fullbacks. No Sven Bender, who's been playing as a central defender. No Subotic, he's injured. So limited options at the moment. And Roda usually plays in the middle of the park. He's going to have to make do as a right back for the final. 18 and a half minutes. William Carvalho's had a free kick given against him for a high foot on Shinji Kagawa. And you just feel that Dortmund need to put the foot on the ball. I thought Nui Sahin would have been a good man to bring on. Just a bit of composure in the middle of the park, but it's not to be. In the ball over the top looking for Bas Dost from Brian Ruiz is well rescued by Roman Burke, who, rather than put his foot on the ball or bide his time, bowls it straight out, and they're not helping themselves. I think it's fair to say Borussia Dortmund at the moment. Burke's long clearance looking for Dembele off the head of Ziegler, out for a throw into Dortmund in the opposing half. Just seeing this again, it's a Ziegler ball into the box. Does he land awkwardly there, Ginter? I'm not too sure. Either way, though, you've got to expect Bas Dost to put that chance away.
Yeah, I mean, the absolute very least, he's got to hit the target. You don't really score if you don't hit the target. And it's a very lucky deflection. I mean, he couldn't have hit that, headed it any sweeter. Power header, forehead. He's just angled it the wrong side of the post. I mean, it's not massively wide. It's not an absolute clanger. But with your team trailing and time running out, those are the sort of chances you've got to put away because it's a good one. We talked about crossing. He's not been getting them too much. He's just got the perfect one there. And, of course, he's fluffed his lines. But I think it's a good second half from Sporting so far. It did look like Dortmund might pose a threat on the counter, but they haven't got anything going for a while now, leading up to the goal and, of course, after it. Obviously, time is on their side, but at the moment, I think Sporting will feel confident they can threaten an equaliser, maybe even more.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. They seem to be the team in the ascendancy at the moment. They've done well to keep Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang quiet in this second half. As Ziegler's throw down the left-hand side finds Dost, but his header's a poor one. He goes out for another throw. Roda takes it quickly to Weigl. Not sure Weigl was expecting that, but still finds a teammate in Papastathopoulos, who'll give it along to Pasalic. Burke's got to be sharp here. The goalkeeper got it back from the young fullback and was under a bit of pressure from Dost, but got his clearance away. And we see the Sporting bench deep in thought. Of course, one more change for them to come. It could be crucial, couldn't it, as Dortmund, the many yellow shirts, just moving the ball around. Goetze, who's been pretty anonymous in this second half. We mentioned him a few times. It's one of those, you have a degree of sympathy, I think, with his career. Scoring the winner in the World Cup final when you're 22. Where'd you go from there? But it didn't work out from at Bayern Munich. And this is a game with the players he's playing with and against. You want him to be taking control, but he's not really done it so far, as in fact he's fouled there. Speak of the devil. Has the referee given it? No, he's not. He's accused him of diving. Degree of sympathy there. I thought he was clearly fouled, but yeah, it's not been his night tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I thought he's gone for the foul because he's played a poor pass. He's kind of jumped in there and then flayed his legs out to make sure there's contact. So I'm with the referee actually on that one. Although the referee has been quite happy to blow his whistle. You know, you might have thought I've got a good chance to win a free kick, but yeah, he's done nothing for me. I mean, he's not even trying to get in the game. Okay, he's an attacking player and wants to be in attacking positions, but his team needs help. He's been a bit anonymous, too anonymous for me.
Yeah, I think you might say with Shinji Kagawa as well, as Sporting come forward down the left-hand side. Ziegler, he's been good, finds Ruiz, and onto Cesar, and now it's Charlotto, hits Gelson, Charlotto across the box, great save by Burke, he's spreading himself well, helped out as well by a defender who cleared his lines, but Dost was there at the back post, ready to tap home, and makes a good save. Burke just did enough, and Dortmund live to fight another day. Still leading 2-1, but it's Dembele up the other end. Clearly fouled by Zegala. That'll be a yellow card to the Dutchman. Hacked the youngster down. And he goes in to the book. Incidentally, Juventus have gone ahead in Lyon. 10-man Juventus. Cuadrado, the substitute, making the difference. There was another yellow card involved. Was it in fact, it was Joe Campbell who made the foul. I think the referee gave another yellow. I'm not quite sure. He seemed to be brandishing them everywhere, but good save down the other end by Berkey, wasn't it?
Yeah, Sebastian Roda is the man in shot. I'm not sure if he's been yellow carded. I didn't like the rolls, I have to admit, from Dembele, but I mean, he's had a decent game. Won a free kick. Joel Campbell confirmed as a booking. And it's a chance for a bit of respite. I mean, I don't think they're going to send many bodies up there. The last corner they had, which was a while ago, there's only 3 in the box. So they might well go for goal. Roda has actually been confirmed as being on a booking, probably saying a little bit too much to the referee. Needless booking when you play in a defensive position, your side's under a little bit of pressure. You never know what might happen, but there's a chance here, and Borussia Dortmund are in no rush to take it. I've badmouthed him all game. Götze is standing over it.
Yeah, he's biding his time, isn't he? I think it's fair to say. Yeah, Roda pulled back at Campbell after they've been involved in a 50-50. Unfamiliar position, playing right back for Roda tonight, usually a midfield player. As it is Götze over the ball, deep cross, punched away by Patrizio, only to Pulisic, right footed effort, off the crossbar, what an effort that was by the Borussia Dortmund, man, it's Pulisic with the follow-up effort, I think in fact, was it Weigler? Either way, it was a wonderful strike, great technique, it was Pulisic, struck it ever so well, curling away from the goalkeeper. A bit of a get-out-of-jail free card for Patricio, who for the first time looked a bit flustered there. Here come Dortmund, though. It's Aubameyang, plays it forward off the feet of Semedo, down the right-hand side. In fact, it's Dembele just manages to get a cross away by Carvalho. It's still so open and offensive, this game, heading into the final 12 minutes. Sporting 1, Dortmund 2, off-tube studio commentary. And you feel there's still plenty to come from this game. Yeah,
I mean, I think both sides are giving it their all. Not once has a team really sat back. Okay, they've been under pressure defensively, but when they get the ball, they're bombing forward. And as that continues, I'm not sure whether to blame Patricio there. I suppose he could have palmed it anyway, but he's gone out of the box. Nobody's particularly close to Pulisic, so you just wonder if, well, I don't think I could blame the keeper personally, but it's a great shot coming in, teed it up nicely on the volley, but it just wouldn't quite come down enough. Another giveaway from Götze. He hasn't done an awful lot this game. I don't want to keep harping on about it. Could easily substitute him, but Sporting have just made their third and final change. Brian Ruiz off, and Andre is on for his first appearance of the season.
Yes, the Sporting have played their hand, haven't they? And Andre will look to make the difference. Looks like he's gone straight up front alongside Dos. So a very attacking lineup now. Cesar Carvalho in the middle of the park, almost like a diamond in fact. Joe Campbell one side and Gelson on the other for Sporting, really going for it because they know that a win here will really help them in their chance, help their chances of going through to the knockout rounds of the Champions League. As we see Carvalho, the captain, finds Sebastian Coates. Aubameyang tries to bring him back, but Coates keeps going and finds Gelson on the right-hand side, whips a deep ball into Joe Campbell. Thought about the volley on the first time attempt, but pulled out of it. Good touch though, battling with Roda on a yellow card, of course, Roda, so needs to be careful. Bruno Cesar now has it for Sporting. Drifted across, disappointing ball though by the goal scorer. Out for a throw-in, but the momentum is really behind the visitors, you have to say. And if there is going to be another goal, you do feel it's probably going to go to the men in the green and white.
Yeah, I mean, I've not been convinced by Dortmund, particularly at the heart of their defence from crosses, and of course they've lost her or they've been forced to make a couple of changes, so that's not necessarily helped them. I think Roda wants to be a little bit more attacking than a right back, but Piszczek's not a natural centre half. Just a poor cross actually there from Cesar. Other than score a goal, I'm not sure he's actually figured too prominently in the game in a good way. But I don't know why Joel Campbell didn't go for goal, to be honest. He's well inside the box on his left foot. Okay, it's a volley. But there's half a chance there, go back across the face or at least keep it down. You never know what might happen. But yeah, certainly supporting a pushing. I like it. Credit to him. But there's only 9 minutes left plus injury time. They're still trailing.
Yeah, it would have been a wonderful goal if he'd decided to pull the trigger and strike it on the volley, because it came down perfectly for him. So it seemed. Just to mark your card, plenty more action to come on this service over the next couple of days. Wednesday's Champions League action, of course. Arsenal taking on Ludogorets Razgrad. Barcelona against Manchester City. What a game that promises to be. And Celtic against Borussia Mönchengladbach. All available on this service. 7:45 kickoffs. More to come as well on Thursday. Inter Milan against Southampton in the early 6 o'clock kickoff. And Manchester United against Fenerbahce at 8:05, and Dundalk against Zenit St. Petersburg. So plenty to come. Real Madrid are 5-1 up against Legia Warsaw. I think it's pretty fair to say they've justified the favourites tag to go through in this group. It's Alvaro Morata who scored the 5th for Los Blancos. But here comes Joe Campbell for Sporting. Feeds it. Gelson, right footed shot across the area. Oh, agonisingly close for Andre. He must have been a stud's length away from equalising the score. Sliding it at the back post to substitute. Just wasn't to be.
Yeah, I mean, that's a giveaway from Papastathopoulos. What he was trying to do there with that pass is anyone's guess. But it's quickly worked. Nice ball to Gelson. I don't think he's going for goal, but he's taken the right option going across the far post. And Andre not quite there in time. But they're inviting a bit of trouble there. Dortmund arguably got away with it. They're actually on the attack, but Goetze is caught in possession. Then he's clipped his man getting back to his feet, and that'll be a free kick Sporting Lisbon. Bit of a shove from Charlotto. He needs to be careful because he's on a yellow card. But yeah, they're really pushing for an equaliser. It's just not been their night tonight.
Yeah, it's been unlucky so far for Sporting. Charlotto, he's rode his luck a few times, like it's fair to say. On the yellow card, Patrizio, long clearance, nodded on by Dost, of course, but the green and white shirt can't bring it down. I've been disappointed by Dortmund actually tonight. They've really lacked patience and composure, really. Rather than try and see the game off, they seem quite content to leave it open. Injuries haven't really helped the cause, I suppose, but still they've given Sporting too much of a chance to get back into it. 2-1 lead in the German side heading into the final 6 minutes or so. Is that a free kick? No, it's not. It was Andre who went down, and rather than clear the lines, Dortmund are trying to play the way out of trouble. And they need to be careful. Papastathopoulos it is. The skipper on the night coming forward, dribbling his way out of trouble, goes to ground. I thought he went down far too easily, and the referee seems to agree. Sporting come forward without Borussia's main centre-half. Charlotto towards the back post. Andre's there, gets the header. Dost is in there as well. Berkey, though, rises above everybody else and clears and takes the ball well. And the game really is on a knife edge at the moment.
Into the last 5 minutes at the Jose Alvalade in Sporting are really huffing and puffing, really putting BVB under pressure, and might well have done better than just the one goal, because just after that Cesar goal in the 67th minute, Bas Dost, who's been living on scraps, actually had a free header. And it was a great ball in from the left-hand side, and Zegeler on the run. It was absolutely perfect. 8 yards out, central position, and he's sent a powerful header, clean strike, just wide of the post. Charlotto with a cross-come shot, almost reached Bas Dost. Simple tap in far post, but the keeper, Berkey, did just about enough. It was fingertips to divert it away before Gelson had an opportunity as well. Another cross-come shot, spaced down the right channel. He was going for goal, but it wasn't too far away from the sliding Andre. Had he made contact, it would have been an equaliser. BVB have been under pressure, but they did have an opportunity to re-extend their lead to 2 goals. A free kick pumped into the box. It was flapped away by Patricio, 25 yards out, Pusilic brought it down. His volley hit the bar with the keeper stranded. So goals galore. Sporting have been reduced to 10 men, though Charlotte with 2 yellow cards. Time's running out. Sporting on the back foot, but on the scoreline, but still pushing for an equaliser.
Well, there seems to be absolute confusion here. It looked like Charlotte had been given a second yellow card. The referee was yellow carding. Oh, he thrust it in Charlotte's way. We're going to say it again. Earlier there was a build-up where the ball came in. Berkey punched it, and then Charlotte headed it back into his hands. The referee's going across. He showed someone on the bench a yellow card. Monaco equalised, incidentally. It looked like he was throwing Charlotte a yellow card, but it's a throw-in, I think, and yeah, controversy reigns. Charlotte has stayed on, and yeah, it's still all to play for. I think Dortmund wanted Charlotte to play it back to them because they kicked it out for Papastathopoulos to get some treatment. But no, it will be Sporting to resume. It's into the near post, foul by Bastos, and a bit of respite for everyone, I think.
Yeah, all sorts of shenanigans there. Referees, it did look to me as though he'd brandished it right in the face of Charlotte. Maybe it's the camera angle. It's off Jeep Studio commentary, but BVP. I mean, I suppose they're seen as the second best team in Germany. They're not exercising too much common sense in this one. I mean, I think some of their defending has been poor, and some of their playing out with the ball in possession has put themselves needlessly under pressure. But they are still winning this game, so if they come away with the 3 points, I mean, we're into the last couple of minutes or so, plus injury time. Roman Berkey, the Dortmund keeper's picked up a yellow card for time wasting. But if they get the 3 points, job done.
Yeah, I think they'll be back to the drawing board. Like we say, they're not winning the last 3. They've got Ingolstadt away from home at the weekend for Sporting. They've got Tondela at home. Both teams playing on Saturday. But yeah, I think we mentioned the team in transition, all those kind of things. Injuries haven't helped Dortmund, but yeah, they've not been as impressive as they have been in recent years, I think it's fair to say, as Dembele looks to get on Aubameyang's flick through. Elsewhere, still Bayer Leverkusen 0, Spurs 0, Bruges 1, Porto 1, CSKA 1, Monaco 1, Leicester 1, Copenhagen 0, Dynamo Zagreb 0, Sevilla 1, Lyon 0, Juventus 1, and Madrid 5, Real Madrid that is. Legia Warsaw 1, still Sporting 1, Dortmund 2, almost into the final minute of the 90. You do feel there is going to be one more chance for Sporting. I think it would be, if they were to get a draw out of this, I think it'd be more than fair.
Yeah, I mean, second half, I wouldn't say they've created a raft of clear-cut chances, but there's certainly that one for a Bastos. They've had other efforts as well. And although they had chances in the first half, Dortmund always posted the threat on the counter, although they are doing that now. Yeah,
Kagawa on the right edge of the box, goes past 1, goes past 2, gives it back to Dembele. Ball comes in, away by Coates quite easily. Pasalac will pick up the pieces, overruns it, he's still going, feeds it through to Dembele, almost half a chance for the Dortmund man. It was Semedo who smashed it away. A few tired legs out there, I think, out there. There's Alvalade. Aubameyang himself taking a couple of deep breaths. Pasalac, I'm not sure he knew too much about it, but Semedo had to be on his game there, smashing it into the stand. Plenty of travelling fans from the BFV have on their feet now. It looks like they're going to be rewarded with a victory. Pasalac is getting a bit of treatment for cramp, getting stretched out. And Thomas Tuchel screaming out the orders.